Okay, guys, we have another great episode for you guys today. My name is Dr. Colin Zhu, aka the Chef Doc, and I have a special episode on today's channel. And I am very humbled and privileged to have them here with us today. And we're going to be talking a lot about the topics of nature as medicine. So, our guest for today is Dr. John LaPuma. He is a internal medicine physician, a trained chef, and regenerative and organic farmer. He's based in Santa Barbara, California, and he is a New York Times bestselling author. He's the founder of ChefMD and a global leader in culinary medicine and nature-based medicine. Dr. LaPuma has taught nature-based medicine principles at Harvard and the University of Chicago and advocates worldwide for bringing food and nature into mainstream healthcare. He has a special event to talk about today. So without further ado, please welcome Dr. LaPuma. Hello.
Hey, Colin, how are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for hopping on. And can't wait to dig into the dirt with you. How are we today?
We're great. It's 70 and sunny here in Santa Barbara, and I just took a little walk outside at my farm and did some pruning of early apples that are coming on too fast.
That's awesome. Just a quick note. I know we talked a little bit offline, but I'm a huge fan of yours, and I think thank you so much for pioneering culinary medicine, which has been my niche for the past more than a decade now, and I appreciate yourself to be able to pave the way. So really appreciate the work you've done before, today, and will do for the future.
That's very kind. I'm privileged to participate and contribute to it, and so glad, Colin, you picked up the baton and are running with it.
I love it. So, Dr. LaPuma, this is a great venue that you are being able to host for clinicians and healthcare professionals alike. Let's talk about the workshop. Talk about what is it exactly, because it sounds like a brand new concept. And then just the details of where you're hosting this.
Well, we're very lucky, Colin, because we have picked up from patients the idea that, they'd really rather not take pills if they don't need to. And we began looking at that, as you said, with food as medicine or culinary medicine, which, as you know, blends the art of cooking with the science of medicine to create restaurant quality meals that help to prevent and treat disease. But there's a step before culinary medicine that's kind of a shortcut to it. And that's understanding how nature-based approaches, gardening especially, but therapeutic horticulture more broadly, forest bathing, green exercise, simply exercising outside, meditation outside, and then unusual things in the US, like care farms and grounding, which are much more common in the UK and Australia, and actually all over the world, Asia. So we're trying to answer patients' questions of what else can I do except take a pill? And it turns out that nature, being outside, has extraordinary mental and physical health benefits that simply have not been put together in a practical, evidence-based, easy to do way for practicing physicians.
Awesome. And has there been a kind of like a personal lived experience that, whether it's, burnout or whether it's been your own, if you're able to share, mental health journey that you have been the beneficiary of, nature as medicine or nature prescriptions yourself?
Being outside has actually changed my life a lot. As you know, I've had lucky to have many different careers in medicine, in academics, and in clinical practice, and then in media. And I have found I'll tell you a little story. I'd written a new book called Refuel, which now is out in 2013, at the end of 2013. I was going to be on Dr. Oz, and I was getting ready to go to Dr. Oz's TV show in New York City. I live in Santa Barbara. And I just bought the farm, which was at the time an abandoned place with a lot of old cars and rusting hulks of things. Mm-hmm. And it was 3 acres in Santa Barbara. It looked like a sand dune that was deserted, and actually it had been deserted, an old nursery that was deserted. And I found myself just kind of running to New York and getting back on the plane as soon as I could. Within 24 hours, I was back home after doing the TV shoot, because I was so called to be on the land and try to do something different. I needed to punch down the wine. I need to figure out why the avocados weren't blooming that year. I needed to try to make a difference in this unusual physical space. And I found that I really preferred to be outside rather than inside. And I'm not the only one. 93% of us, rather, 93% of our time is spent indoors as a people. Only 7% is spent outdoors. We spend 86% of our time in buildings and about 7% in vehicles. And that drives about our 40% obesity rate. It drives our 20% depression rate. It disrupts our circadian biology. Spending all of this time inside is actually kind of an indoor epidemic. So we thought, could we create a continuing medical education course for doctors that gave them the physical skills? There have been other CME courses in this area, but not those that have focused on how you actually plant, why touching the soil is good for you, why you shouldn't be afraid of spiders, except for, black widows and
brown recluses.
Yeah, those are bad. Don't touch those. But other spiders are actually pretty good. They eat things that you don't want in your food or around your house. So we thought, let's give doctors the physical skills to teach them green exercise. How do you use the outdoors to exercise if you don't have a whole gym or big backyard? How do you forest bathe to lower your blood pressure, to improve your immunity? It actually increases your natural killer cells by 50% with just with a 2-day retreat in a forest. And I know a lot of people would like to go on a 2-day wilderness retreat, and that effect lasts 30 days. How do you help people grow food that they want to eat and do it more cheaply than you can do it from the supermarket or even from the farmer's market? And the bonus is that it actually tastes better. We had a group of middle school kids over from Oakwood in Los Angeles, and they were 14-year-olds who were clustered around one of my wine barrels where we were growing broccoli. And my partner said, there's no way kids are going to want broccoli. Are you kidding? Don't give them that. But I snapped off a floret and gave it to one of the kids, and she said, it's sweet. And it actually is if you get it fresh. So, and actually, the broccoli plants ran out because every kid wanted one and they all ate it. So, but doctors don't know this. Yeah. We don't know how to prescribe nature to patients. We don't know how to ask, where do you like to be when you're outside? What do you like to do? What is that like for you? What if I gave you a park prescription for a park of your choice? Because being outside 20 to 30 minutes, 20 minutes actually, lowers your cortisol rate, the big stress hormone, by 21% and reduces inflammation faster than a lot of medications. Most doctors don't know that gardeners have lower BMIs than non-gardeners, and that they can lower your hemoglobin A1C by 0.5 percentage point if you're a gardener and if you have your hands in the soil.
Yeah, I resonate with this a lot because I've been blessed to be able to touch every continent on the planet. I'm a big advocate for traveling. I'm a certified scuba diver. So being in nature, a lot of times it makes sense. It makes common sense to people. But I like the program that you're cultivating, pun intended, and curating, because it really gets deep down into the science and what is the current available evidence to show that, okay, we know this is common sense, but how is it working on a physiological level? And most importantly, in terms of physicians, what are the clinical health outcomes that we can benefit, right? Because we need to be able to write for it. Just like, when as a chef, you have to be able to say, okay, what are the ingredients? How do I create this recipe? And then when a customer or client or someone comes in a restaurant, when it gets ingested, what is they are looking for, the taste, the flavor, and all that. So I love how it's a beautiful blend of not just food as medicine, but also a lot of different variations of nature mediums. You have the gardening there, you have a little bit of forest bathing, and we're gonna be able to show different clips of your farm. Tell us a little bit, in terms of the workshop. When is it? Where is it? Who is it for? And what are the key takeaways that you want people to walk away from?
We're doing it June 8th, 2025. We're doing it all day. UCLA David Geffen School of Medicine is the CME sponsor and is providing wonderful Elizabeth Coe, who's the head of integrative medicine there, and she's going to teach the culinary medicine part. We're going to have faculty from all over the country. David Schienemeyer is coming from the University of the Medical College of Wisconsin in Milwaukee to teach soil science and gardening. I'm going to create a tour of the farm, give people tastes of things and show how to grow. We're going to have a green exercise expert, Eric Durek, to identify the data from Exeter, especially, and all over. It'll be a full day event. And I think there is still some space left, but it's filled up pretty rapidly because there's really a hunger for this. And UCLA has created a wait list. We have a feature about it at lapumafarms.com, which is my farm website, where you can just go to the head bar and click down and you'll learn more about what we do. And if there's an interest in it, we'll probably do it again.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, is that because it's a one-time venue and an event. What happens if it sells out? Will you have future iterations, and can people come and just visit, your farm if you do not have an event?
Absolutely. We do private tours all the time, and that information is on our website as well. And we do try to integrate in the tours, if people want it, information about what our botanicals do, from ashwagandha to ordinary rosemary, to what the fruits do. We grow quite a few unusual things, Colin. From mandarin quartz and yuzu lemons to heritage cider apples, and we make our own olive oil and honey. It's kind of structured like a university where there are different rooms and people can visit each room and learn what you can grow there and how. It's a privilege to be able to do it, and I know that it's a privilege because not everyone has access to nature this way. But we're hoping to democratize that by getting doctors to advocate for, at the very least, for their patients in the hospital who need a view of nature outside of their window, because that's been shown to reduce opioid use by 22% and hospital stay by 8% by simply having a view of greenery outside your window instead of looking at a wall. Classic study that actually changed some of hospital design and architecture by Roger Ulrich in 1984, the Science magazine. And it shows the power of how understanding basic concepts about how we're related to the planet and how we need to see beyond our own four walls, escape this indoor epidemic, can be transformative for personal health.
I love it. I love it. As we wrap up to a close, for those that are not able to attend your events or maybe visit your farm, they're on the other coast, for example, in the middle of America, what would you say to the fellow physician in terms of how to get started? I'm curious. I want to dip my toes in. What would you say to the fellow physician? And what would you say to the fellow patient, right? That sees this, for example, and says, how can I get my doctor to get started, right? How would I, approach them?
For physicians, there's increasing interest in this area where there are actually other CMEs. We have on our website a Nature as Medicine resource category, which you're welcome to. It's free. There are other excellent sites. The Children Nature Network has an extensive research library started by Richard Louv, a journalist who wrote Last Child in the Woods. There are ways to learn about this in a structured way, but the simple approach to patients is to simply ask them what they like to do outside, what it would be like if they took a walk, in addition to their blood pressure pills, their anxiety medicine, their depression medicine, and report it back. Do it like a prescription. You want to prescribe walking 5 times a week for 10 minutes to start in a favorite place with a log of how you feel before and after. For patients, I believe that the very best thing is to know that nature is not far away. It's not the Grand Canyon. It's not the Pacific Ocean. It's not Antarctica. Nature is the greenery in your salad. It's the wind that ruffles your curtains if you have the windows open. It's the dog by your feet. Nature is closer than you think. And you don't need a big backyard, and you certainly don't need a farm to know that when you raise a houseplant on your kitchen table, that you are in touch with another living being. And that might not be an animate being, but it's something that you can care for and nurture, and then in turn can nurture you.
I love it. I love it. Well, I hope that your event sells out, goes without a hitch, and we'll have more future iterations of this down the line. And I can't wait to visit the farm myself. And thank you so much for putting this together. I think it's a great another medium, not just studying and reading a CME or an article online, which is behind a screen, but we get to actually get some vitamin D, get some sunlight, and actually be with Mother Nature. So thank you so much, Dr. Puma, for doing this.
It's my pleasure. By the way, vitamin D protects your telomeres. And
all right.
Yeah. And as one of the few proven things to actually increase the preservation of biological youth, it actually helps to prevent fraying of telomeres in the right amount. About 2,000 units daily over 3 years has been shown to do that. And the very best way, sunlight on your arms and legs, 10 minutes a day, 3 days a week.
I love it. I love it. So guys, no excuse to go outside. So until next time, we're going to have another episode in the future. But until then, please say goodbye to Dr. Puma.
Thank you very much, Colin. Great.